Implicit differentiation problems can be tough. I know back when I was learning calculus, that was one thing that really tripped me up a lot. And through my years as a tutor for calculus, I've learned that there's really just one thing that most people mix up. So if you can keep this one thing straight, it really makes these implicit differentiation problems like a million times easier. So today I wanted to show you the one trick I use and that I teach other students to use to make implicit differentiation problems a ton easier. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So here's the problem I'm going to use to show you this one trick I'm talking about here. We're going to find dy dx by implicit differentiation, and we're going to do it with this function here, which is 2x cubed plus x squared times y minus x times y cubed equals 2. And we want to use this trick right off the bat. So the trick that I want to show you is to, right when you start out the problem, you want to write down which variable in this equation is your function and which is your variable. So what I mean by that is, what is your input variable versus your output variable? This right here tells us exactly which is which. What we're trying to find is dy dx. Whatever letter is on top here is going to be your function, and it is going to be a function of whatever variable is here on the bottom. So in this case, we know right off the bat x is our variable and y is our function. So the reason why this is important is when we do this problem by implicit differentiation, in order to find dy dx, we need to take the derivative of both sides of our equation with respect to x. So whatever's on the bottom here is what we're going to take the derivative with respect to, which means when we take the derivative of both sides of this equation, we need to consistently treat y as a function and x as our variable. So y is going to be a function of x. And the reason why this is important is the derivative with respect to x of your variable x is just going to be 1. It's going to be, how you would expect the derivative of just the variable to be. But if we take the derivative with respect to x of y, of our function, that is not just going to be 1, but instead it's just going to be dy dx. So it's really important to kind of write this over here down right off the bat. And we're going to use this as we go through this problem and as we take the derivative of each of these pieces. So whenever you have a chunk of your equation, obviously we kind of have a sum of 3 different things here. Whenever you have a chunk of that only has your variable in it, like this first one here only has an x in it, there's no y, we can take the derivative exactly how we would expect to. It's pretty straightforward, right? In this case right here, we can just use the power rule. So we can just bring our 3 down in front. So we're going to get 2 times 3, which is 6. Times our variable x, and then we're going to lower our power by 1. So 6x squared is the derivative of 2x cubed. But then when we have something that has y's in it, especially when you have something with y's and x's in it, your brain should automatically go to either product rule, quotient rule, or chain rule. You're most likely going to have to use one of those 3 rules. It's not going to be as straightforward as just using the power rule, because even if we just have y to some power, we still have to use the chain rule because we have a function within a function. And the reason is because y is a function, it's not a variable. So to find the derivative of x squared times y, we're actually going to have to do that using the product rule. So I'll kind of write that separately down here. We're trying to find the derivative of x squared times y. We're going to have to do that using the product rule because we have a product of 2 different functions. We have x squared being one of our functions, which I'll just call that our function f. And then we have what we'll call g, which is our function y. So to use the product rule, we then want to figure out f prime and g prime, which the derivative of x squared. And remember, we're taking consistently throughout this whole problem the derivative with respect to x. So every single piece we break this down into, x is our variable, so we can just use the power rule here since we only have an x, and y is our function. So again, the derivative with respect to x of y is actually dy dx. So g prime here is going to be dy dx. So now the product rule says we'll do this piece times this piece plus this piece times this piece. So that'll give us x squared times dy dx plus 2x times y. So that is the derivative of x squared times y. And then again, to find the derivative of x times y cubed, we're again going to have to do product rule. We're going to do that using the same process we just did over here. So again, we have x times y cubed. We'll say f is going to be our function, or our piece, the piece of our function is x, and then g is going to be the piece of our function y cubed. Again, the derivative of x, like we set up here, is just 1. So f prime is just going to be 1. And then g prime, we're actually going to have to use chain rule within this because, again, y is a function. So we actually have a function raised up to a power. So chain rule says we have to figure out what our inside function and our outside function is. So let's just say this is our inside function, and then the cubed piece is our outside function. So chain rule says we're going to do the derivative of the outside function, leave the inside function alone. So our outside function is just going to be done using the power rule. So we're going to bring the power down in front, leave our inside function alone, and then lower the power by 1. And then, by the chain rule, we then have to multiply this by the derivative of our inside function, which is just y. And again, the derivative of y is dy dx. And then, again, product rule says we just kind of cross multiply those, f prime times g, g prime times f, and that's just going to give us 1 times y cubed, which is y cubed, and then x times all this here. And so this is the derivative of xy cubed. So remember, we did have minus xy cubed up here. So we have to do minus all of this derivative that we got here. So in parentheses now we're going to have y cubed plus 3xy squared dy dx. And then we also have to take the derivative of the right side of our equation, which is just a constant. The derivative of a constant is always 0. So now what we want to do is just kind of expand this out and simplify. So really the only kind of expanding to do here is to distribute this negative sign. And then typically the next step with these implicit differentiation problems is to separate your dy dx terms on one side of your equation and your non-dy dx terms on the other side of your equation. So you can see we have a non-dy dx term here, 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 and then these other two terms left are both dy dx. So we'll leave our dy dx terms over here where they are. And then we will either add or subtract these 3 underlined terms over to the other side of our equation. So a positive 6x squared will need to be subtracted over. A positive 2xy will have to also be subtracted over. And then a negative y cubed will have to be added over to move it over to the other side of the equation. And then once we have all our dy dx terms on one side of our equation, we can actually factor out dy dx from the left side of our equation and figure out what's left of each of these terms if we take the dy dx out. So this will only be left with an x squared. This other term here will be left with a negative 3xy squared. And then the right side of our equation is not going to be changed. And then we can just divide this over to the other side of our equation, giving us dy dx equals all this other stuff on the right side of the equation divided by what we had here in the parentheses. So that's it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button down below and hit the subscribe button as well. Don't let the YouTube algorithm decide which videos you get to see. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you catch all of them. Together we'll keep crushing it all term long. Thanks and see you next time.